so that Porsche drivers can say with complete assurance, Porsche is a car for everyday use. Ever since the first Porsche, we've never stopped thinking about tomorrow. On the contrary, and the new Porsche generation is just one more proof. Another is our development center at Weissach. With an area of 450,000 square meters, it's bigger than our plant in Zuffenhausen. Weissach is our think tank.
Ja, weil das eine reine Ingenieursfirma ist und für die Ingenieursprodukte bekannt ist.
We asked Porsche's chief designer, Anatol Lapin, about his work and responsibility.
First and foremost, the wishes of those customers have to be taken into account. What we have to deliver is functional efficiency. In the body, a certain aesthetic styling on specific lines that are an established tradition of the firm. That is something we have to adhere to and make sure that we make it better, not worse.
About 1,000 people work here on new developments, improved technologies. Here, revolutionary ideas are born, checked, and, where suitable, put into practice. That extends from, say, a solution for the joint vertical adjustment of steering column and instrument panel, as here in the 928, which could hardly be more convenient, down to this roller test rig on which, for the first time in the world, a 50,000-mile continuous running test was carried out to satisfy American exhaust gas standards. This test simulates all driving operations, such as gear changing, clutch operation, braking, accelerating, stopping, which a Porsche driver would perform on a trip right across the USA, whether in rural areas or in big cities. Here, in Weissach, they have everything necessary, and perhaps a bit more, to build prototypes, pre-production models, or racing cars. We spoke to Porsche's chief engine development engineer. Mr. Hensler, isn't this development center a few sizes too big for a plant that only makes about 30,000 cars a year?
No. The development center is by no means too big. The international requirements for cars with respect to energy saving, that is, fuel consumption, exhaust gas detoxification, and vehicle safety, demand such high cost and sophisticated facilities. But since we have in Weissach a team of about 600 engineers of various nationalities and 400 highly specialized mechanics, we can make our development capacity, including all our testing facilities, available to other clients too.
400 hochspezialisierten Mechanikern können wir unsere Entwicklungsfähigkeit auch anderen Auftraggebern zur Verfügung stellen. Also auch unsere ganzen Versuchseinrichtungen.
Many test facilities have to be specially designed to meet our requirements. For example, our tire test rig. Even now, after 8 years in use, the construction of this test rig can be adapted to the continually changing conditions. Today, there are only 3 test rigs of comparable capacity in Europe, so that often even big tire manufacturers come to us to take advantage of this rig's capabilities.
You're motorsport editor for Road and Track.
That's right, Rudy.
And you're driving a 911. Why?
Right. Well, it sounds like a commercial pitch, but I happen to think this is probably one of the best GT cars on the market, if not the best GT car.
Well, there are other good GT cars on the market, but why a Porsche?
Well, they're well built. The performance is just probably one of the best of the cars out there. And also the fact that in this country you can go practically anywhere and get the car serviced.
Uh-huh.
I've had this car for over 100,000 miles of driving, and the problems have been really minor. But the 928 is also a very good car. It's a different kind of car.
Uh-huh. Would you have either one or the other?
I could have them both. I'd take them both.
Morning, Mr. Katzman. You are the producer of Dallas. What does a producer of Dallas do with a 928 Porsche?
Right now, he goes to the studio and back in it.
Let me ask you, you had a choice, obviously, to buy any other car. Why did you choose a 928?
I felt that it was, for me, the best car that was made in the world.
When everything has been tested, checked and found in order, we put our Porsche through its paces on the safari trail, on the washboard track with built-in obstacles, under wet conditions.
Basically because I think they're the best car in the world, and I think they're beautifully finished, they're very quick, they're safe, and I've been driving them for 8 years and they've never let me down.
At present, all cars are good, but I prefer a Porsche. I think anybody who has ever driven a Porsche will always drive one.
Basically because I believe it's one of the finest automobiles made in the world today.
What is your feeling towards your Porsche?
Well, I've heard the expression, Porsches are toys for big boys, and I think to some degree that is very, very true.
At international rallies and races like here in Le Mans, we accumulate all the experience and know-how which confirms the realistic nature of our concept. Clearing of a Porsche for batch production only when it's the best in its class, and the object is always that little bit more.